I'm terrified of clowns, man. You having a good time, man?
Oh, there's no way these stories are real. You literally play games all day. Bro, how in the world would you know? Like, you don't live with me, you don't know me.
Damn, fam. You got the whole chat laughing.
You never met me, like, you're weird, bro. Like, how are you trying to pretend you know me when you don't? WTF is the devil's tango.
Oh no, gringe.
Okay, so when mommy and daddy love each other very, very much, you know what? Never mind. If you're not old enough to know what this is, then you are not meant for this channel. LMFAO, I love how he says devil's tango. I mean, it is funny to say the devil's tango.
You get no bitches!
But I'm happy you enjoy it. Be the definition of quagmire. Giggity, 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 giggity. I'm sorry, I'm not quagmire.
Hey, will you sign a petition to overturn Mayor West's ban on gay marriage?
Gay marriage? Ah, come on. Two halves can't make a hole without a hole. Giggity, 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 giggity. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang.
But I'll tell you one thing, I think that is my favorite character in Family Guy. Bro.
Oh no, gringe.
Bro, why is Bubba so cringe? Actually, I think you're just mad that I pull more girls than you on the daily. And your mom literally handed me your birth certificate and I literally ripped it apart. To the point where, I'm gonna be honest, no one asked. If you guys follow me right now, I'll literally show you guys proof that I pull girls. Like, literally just follow right now.
No.
You get no bitches!
Now, cuddling is something we do when we really care about someone and want them to feel comfort.
I want to die. 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 I want to.
This one teacher I had wanted to do way more than just make me feel comfortable.
Oh no, gringe.
And this story does get insane, but before we get into that, make sure you guys press that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do and makes the channel grow bigger and bigger for more crazy stories like this one. But other than that, let's just jump straight into this really embarrassing story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba and welcome back to a really embarrassing story.
Damn, fam. You got the whole chat laughing.
So today's story all takes place back in my grade 10 year. Now in grade 10, I remember for one of the semesters, I had a course called science.
Well, no fucking shit.
And honestly, I was failing science class at this time because, well, I didn't understand all the minerals we had to study on the board, and it just was something that I was not good at because it took a lot of memorization. And I remember one time when I entered inside my classroom, instead of the usual old teacher that we usually had for chemistry, we ended up getting a new teacher that was really young and very attractive.
Why? 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 Why, oh God fucking why?
Now me, I remember when she walked up to the front of the class introducing herself, I could not stop staring at her. I'm like, damn, like this teacher is really attractive. And when this teacher was taking attendance of basically saying everyone's name, she saw my name and said, Bubba, are you in the class? I ended up putting my hand saying, here, beautiful. And instantly the whole class started laughing. And she started actually giggling herself, which was, well, a really big risk, but at the same time, back in high school in grade 10, I was a player, so in reality, I didn't really care. Going on from there, I remember basically, this teacher was really attractive. And I remember since this teacher was so attractive, me paying attention to her was not that difficult to do, because I would just keep staring at her like no tomorrow.
Whoa, 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 hey.
Obviously, the teacher started noticing this, and she ended up going back to her desk and noticing that on her screen of her computer, she saw that I was failing the class.
Well, no fucking shit.
When the teacher saw this, it looked like she had got a light bulb in her head, and she ended up staring me down the whole time in class.
It's making me cringe.
I found this super weird, and then I remember right after class ended, she actually ended up walking up to me. She walked up to me and said, "Hey, Baba, I saw you were failing this class. Do you need any help with anything?" "No, I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah." I mean, like, if you want to help, that'd be cool, yeah? "I'm your teacher, dummy. Of course I'm gonna help you." When she said this, I found this insane, and I'm like, damn, like, this teacher's actually really cool. And she ended up basically giving me her email to basically reach out to her if I needed help with chemistry homework.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
I remember when I ended up leaving the classroom after class, a lot of my friends ended up noticing that this teacher was really fond of me and was really excited to talk to me. But me, I kind of just ended up shrugging it away, saying, "Guys, you guys don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, this teacher is just being a teacher." Obviously, my friends disagreed, but at the same time, what did I know? At the time, that's all I thought it was, until things got even more insane. Because I remember the next day when I entered class, right away, I ended up seeing this teacher in my chemistry class wearing the most revealing outfit I've ever seen.
It's making me cringe.
Like, I am not joking. Her cherries were really out there, and a lot of students started noticing. And me, I ended up trying to just focus on my, like, you know, homework, just trying to, like, you know, basically, you know, not make it seem as awkward as it was the first day. But as in the middle of class, while everyone's doing their homework, I remember this teacher ended up basically getting a piece of gum, chewing it, and walking up to me. She walked up to me saying, "Hey, Baba, do you need, like, any help with the homework? Like, you didn't reach out to me yesterday over email." I ended up looking at her, and I was like, no, I'm good. To be honest, I got this. I think I'm okay." "Are you sure? You know what? After class, just come and talk to me. I'm always here to help."
Oh no, gringe.
"Okay, yeah, cool. I'll come to you after class."
That's what she said.
I remember she ended up saying, "Remember, just reach out to me, okay?" Yeah, okay, tonight I'll make sure to reach out to you for the homework." "Okay, perfect." And then afterwards, she ended up walking away from my desk. A lot of students in my class at that point knew something sus was going on, but me, I didn't know really what was going on.
You're a fucking idiot. This needs to stop. Now.
All I knew is that this teacher was drop dead gorgeous. I remember later that night when I went home, I didn't think anything. I just thought, you know what? I'm gonna do some homework and just get things done.
You're a fucking idiot.
And as I was in the middle of my chemistry homework, there was a part of the homework that I really did not understand. So me knowing I had my teacher's email, I ended up basically reaching out to her over my computer. She ended up basically reaching back out, and me and her, we ended up going through the homework together as she was saying some really flirtatious things to me.
Oh no, gringe.
Over the email. Like, she ended up even saying, "Oh, you have such a cute idea." A cute idea over chemistry? I don't know. It made no sense what she was telling me, but at the same time, it got to the point where we were sending emails back and forth so much, it got to a point where she ended up telling me, "Baba, you know what? Here's my number. Just text me." "You want me to text you help for my chemistry homework?"
Huh?
"Yeah, it'll make things easier, duh." Okay, sure, yeah, I can do that." And basically, me and her, we ended up taking it from email to our actual phones, which I don't know if it's illegal to text your teacher, but for me and this teacher, it didn't seem like it was illegal, but
You're a fucking idiot.
But at the same time, am I really going to complain? She's also helping me with my chemistry homework. Like, I'm not really losing there. Going on from there, I remember basically the next day when I went back to school, right away, when I walked into my chemistry class, this teacher walks up to me right away and says, "Baba, did you end up finishing your homework I was helping you with last night?" And right away, a bunch of students in my class ended up going, "Ooh." And I'm like, yeah, I ended up finishing it. And it was super awkward and embarrassing because I did not know what to say at the time. But going on with the story, I remember it got to a part where I remember in the middle of chemistry class, every time when this teacher was teaching on the board something like about minerals or something, she kept looking towards me and saying, "Baba, did you understand that?" "Yeah, I understood it."
No.
And
Wow, that's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not reading them.
I would always say it at a point where I was like, yeah, if I have to stay, sure. She ended up taking that as like a threat, but either way, I ended up staying after class. And after class, what ended up happening was the most insane thing ever, which I think was illegal. Because I remember when after class came around, everyone ended up leaving the classroom, and me and this teacher were just sitting there at our desks just doing our own thing. But then afterwards, she ended up walking up to me, and she ended up basically leaning towards my desk with her cherries popping out.
It's making me cringe.
Basically saying, okay, Baba, I really want to help you out with this, but you gotta let me help you, okay? Like, you can't be so sassy with me. Okay, well, to be honest with you, I don't understand this one. And then that's when she got the bright idea to end up basically walking around my desk towards my side of the desk and sitting on my lap. She literally sat on my lap and started cuddling me as we were doing chemistry homework that was right in front of us.
Whoa, 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 hey, 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 hey.
She ended up grabbing my pencil with my hand and basically started, like, you know, writing down like chemistry stuff as she was cuddling me. At this point, this was the most weirdest time to ever cuddle a teacher, especially since it was at school. And me thinking things couldn't get worse, I remember one of the nerds in my class that was acing it ended up walking into the classroom saying, oh, like, I could help Bubba. And instantly he saw that me and the teacher were cuddling on that chair, and he instantly pulled out his phone and took a photo. But before me and the teacher noticed that he took a photo, my teacher instantly looks over at him saying, you can leave the classroom, okay? This is a private session. Okay, sorry. And he ended up basically walking out of the classroom. Honestly, this was one of the most craziest things ever. And the fact that this teacher ended up doing this was crazy to me. But the story gets even weirder, because I remember when I got home, everyone, and I mean every single person in my chemistry class started texting me saying, yo, bro, are you actually like hooking up with the new teacher? Yo, Bubba, did you do the Devil's Tango?
Why? 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 Why, oh God, fucking what?
With the teacher, and everyone kept asking me about this damn teacher, and I didn't know what to say. Honestly, at this point in time, I really just wanted all this to just go away, but I didn't know how. I remember that night when I went to bed, the next morning came around, and I ended up going to school. And to be honest, this day I didn't really want to go to school because I didn't want everyone talking to me about the chemistry teacher. And when I went inside the classroom, I remember I looked around and I saw that my chemistry teacher wasn't there. I found it super weird, and when the bell rang for class to start, everyone's just sitting down wondering, where's our teacher? I remember 5 minutes later, the principal walks in. He walks in and says, Bubba, can I talk to you for a minute in my office?
Oh no, gringe.
Yeah, sure. I ended up standing up and everyone did the same thing where they went, ooh. And me and this principal, we ended up going back to his office. He sat down with me and said, we need to talk about what I just saw here. What do you mean? And he ended up showing me a photo of me and the teacher cuddling that the nerd took. Now at this point, I remember I ended up basically like, you know, putting my head down in shame, not knowing what to say. And he ended up telling me, Bubba, you gotta be honest with me. Was this your doing or was this the teacher? I ended up saying how, like, to be honest, I have no idea what's going on. And to be honest, it all kind of just ended up happening. And I ended up getting a 1-day suspension as the teacher, well, she was fired from the school. After that day, I didn't really know what was going on, but when I went back to chemistry class, we ended up getting some new old guy as a teacher, which I
Say, hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
I mean, I guess made me start failing chemistry. But after everything, I will say this, right as school ended, I ended up getting a text message on my phone saying, Bubba, you got me fired. And that is where this story ends off. I remember when I handed my teacher the worksheet.
Huh?